Hello everyone and welcome back to Matchbox Memories. Today we're going to have a look at mix 9 and 10 of the 2025 mainlines from Matchbox. I don't have to profess, I don't have all the vehicles from this set. I do have some of them coming in via the mail, and unfortunately Canada Post is on strike, so they are stuck in limbo. But nevertheless, I thought I would start off by unboxing these vehicles and then comparing them to other vehicles I do have in my collection. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and open some of these cars. Alright, I think I'm going to start off by looking at something really boring like this. MBX Turf Hauler 2. There's the packaging. It does say that this is a new casting for 2025. I think the previous version must have been called Turf Hauler. Oh no, this is a new casting. Look at that. That looks quite good. And just a quick look at the back. There's the licenses. This does have a 2025 Mattel license. Alright, let's open this up and have a look at it. Alright, I think I prematurely called this casting boring. It's not boring. It's actually quite well designed. It is a fantasy casting. Turf Hauler 2. Look at that. That does look badass. Unfortunately, look at that line across the plastic. Imperfection in the molding. Actually, the molding's fine, I guess. It's just, I'm not sure why that line looks like a crack in it. It's not, it's just a line. Stairs or ladder. Moving part. See, look at that same line, the plastic again. Nice little vehicle. Good fantasy casting. I think kids are going to love this. Very playable. Put your sand in there and off it goes. Beautiful. Alright, next I'm going to have a look at this Indiana Jones 1936 Auburn Spitzer 851. We've already seen this last year. I'm guessing it's an identical vehicle to the first version. I think they just threw it in there again with slightly different packaging, which I'm actually not certain if it's slightly different. Feels slightly different, I should say. Anyways, there's the car. We've seen it before on my channel. Pretty sure there's no variation on it, but anyways, I'm not going to open it. There it is for anyone that cares. We have a Jeep Avenger. I do have a few other versions of this in my collection. I didn't pull them out. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what the other color variations of this particular vehicle are. But let's open it up and have a look at it. There it is. I have to admit, there are lots of Jeeps that I collect. This is not one that I'm super excited about. Sort of feels like an old Cherokee, which I would much rather collect. The 2023 Jeep Avenger in this metallic blue. Fully detailed front and back. No number plate. Black interior, left-hand drive. Look at the detailing in the back. Looks really, really good. Mirrors. I never say anything about mirrors, but I have to say, it's amazing. I love the fact that Matchbox puts mirrors into most of their cars, which, sadly, Hot Wheels doesn't. Look at that. There's that same line across the plastic that we saw on the truck. So some sort of imperfection in the plastic when it dries, I guess. Say it's not super light. It's not, I wouldn't say heavy either, but that is not the most exciting vehicle, but keep collecting them because they keep throwing them into the different cases. All right, I think I'm going to go through the less exciting cars first, or vehicles first, and then we'll look at some of the bangers. This one is a Blaze Buster 2. Seen it before. I think we've seen it in red. This is not sure which, but I'm going to open it up and we will have a look at it. All right, there it is out of the package. Matchbox County. Front's not detailed, which is really sad because this is a fantasy casting. It's mostly plastic, doesn't have a moving part. Metal base. Made in Thailand, Blazebuster TO. Alright, next let's have a look at, what's this one called? This is called the MBX Load Lifter. At first I thought this was an INC vehicle, and I pulled all my INC vehicles to add it to my collection. But now that I look at it, I see it's that cargo livery on it. MBX Load Lifter. Let's open this up and have a look at it. Alright, cargo courier. And we've seen this livery before. And now I'm just going to pull it up on my phone and show you some of the other vehicles that have this particular livery. I'm not sure if it's a real logo, so a real company, but it's one that Matchbox has been using for years. It's a good addition to the set. I haven't necessarily picked out the different versions of this livery that I have in my collection and put them together. I might do that after this particular vehicle. But look at that, moving part, beautiful, will work really, really well for kids. I can transport stuff on there, and of course you can lift it up and you can lay it down again. Beautiful. I just did a quick Google search, and these are some of the other cargo couriers that showed up, just so that everyone can see. Oops. Oh, sorry, my phone lost its brightness there. Some of the different delivery trucks. There's another truck there. Utility truck. And I saw a really, really old vehicle further down. Let's see if I can still find it. Look at that. That one's quite old. I'm not sure if I have that. Alright, we're going to do two at a time here. We're going to have a look at this Fiat that we've seen many times in many different colors, as well as the Garbage King that has also been in Matchbox's lineup for years. I actually haven't made this vehicle, a new color variant of this, in quite a few years, so I'm somewhat happy to see it reintroduced. I hope they don't add this to every single 9-pack or 8-pack as they are today. It's nice to have one. I don't think anybody wants to have more than one of this particular vehicle. Just my thoughts. If you think otherwise, let me know. Here's another vehicle that Matchbox has done for years, the Garbage King's garbage truck. We've seen the molding of this change over the years. When I was a kid, you could actually, there's a little piece you could push out, and the garbage could actually be sent out of the truck. So that was a nice feature for when I was a kid, but obviously Matchbox has cut costs, and we don't see that functionality in these new versions of this very old casting Garbage King. Anyways, let's open these up and have a quick look at them. I'm trying to keep this video quite short, so going through these cars fairly quickly. There is the Fiat, sort of a dark baby blue. Definitely has metal flake to it, fully detailed front, left-hand drive, dark gray interior. Back is also detailed. The 2016 Fiat 500X, and of course it has that roof rack. And then we have the Garbage King in red. It says Matchbox City Waste Services. No moving part. See that plastic piece there? Back in the day that would push out, and you could push garbage out, I guess. You could drop it off somewhere. Good little casting. Unfortunately, they haven't done the front of it, but once again, I think it's one of these castings that universally kids love. There they are. All right, next two vehicles we're going to look at are the Skidster and the ground grinder. We've seen both these castings before, not with these liveries. This one's really cute. I do have several versions of them. I did not pull them out, but we will have a look at that. And then, of course, this comes with the National Parks livery, so it's going to be highly collectible. Although I have to say, I've seen lots of these on the pegs in Vancouver. Ground grinder. All right, so there are those two vehicles out of the packaging. As you know, the Skidster does have that moving part. It's a cute little casting. Can't read quite what that says. Stay 25 feet from vehicle. Good little fantasy casting. Then the ground grinder in the National Parks livery. I love this casting. I think it's really cool. And I'm very happy to see it in a National Parks livery. Beautiful. Great addition. Oop, almost dropped that. Made in Thailand, ground grinder. Awesome. And since I have this, let's have a look at my National Parks collection. So I have to admit that I have mixed my National Parks and Forest Ranger vehicles together. But let's just have a quick look at them. These are the two variations. They have different bikes at the back, just in case you're not familiar with them. There is one, and there's the second type of bike. Oh, this one doesn't have a bike, it's just a tire. And they're actually very, very difficult to find because they are 9-pack exclusives. So not only did you have to find the 9-pack, and then you had to find the two different types of inclusions at the back. That's a Mercedes Unimog. Forget what this one's called. It's an iStar, I think. International something. International Workstar brush fire truck from 2007. Another difficult one to find. I think that's a different version of the same truck. One's Forest Ranger, the other is National Parks. There's a Jeep. That one's Forest Ranger. The next two are National Parks. These are Ford F. Oh, this one's got some playwear to it. It's a Ford F550 Super Duty. These vehicles are absolutely huge in real life. The Matchbox version definitely is not to scale on a 164. This is another hard one to find, only because it was so expensive to get, because it was a 9-pack exclusive, and basically all the other cars in this set were repeats, so people were hesitant to pay the $20 to get this bus. I fortunately found it on auction, so I didn't pay too much for it. That's a moving parts vehicle. It's a Jeep Cherokee Limited, and the back door is open. A little bit stiff, but there you go. You get an idea. There they are. Hard to find now. Toyota FJ Cruiser, some trucks. That's another moving parts vehicle. Nobody realizes it, but this one is the National Parks vehicle. And it says it right there. National Park. Right there. So two different versions of that, both National Parks. We have the two VW 4x4s, And then I'm going to flip the case around and show you the rest of the National Parks vehicles that I have. Alright, so there's just a quick overview, and we'll just have a quick look at these as well. Dodge Ram, Mainline National Parks, difficult one to find and quite expensive as well. 2015 Ram, don't want to drop that. Forget what this casting's called. It's the tractor plow. I think that's a Toyota. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, Baja Bullet. Just looks like those old Toyotas, isn't it? Baja Bullet. That one's play worn, as you can see. Some more recent one. Both of these trailers are National Parks trailers. Some trucks, a boat of sorts, helicopters. This one's another difficult one to find, and also one that's quite pricey. Chevy Blazer 4x4. Someone told me that this sells for $20 to $25. Garbage King. So it's exactly the same vehicle as the red one we opened. This one is very collectible and very difficult to find. And then National Parks does vehicles in red, like that Hummer, which is National Parks, and it also came in white. I think that's a second version of that vehicle there, probably a cleaner version, just because the first one's play worn. And then we have, that's a Ford F-150, I think, or is it a Silverado? Sorry, Chevy Silverado. Slightly play worn, also National Parks. There's another, I think that's a Land Rover or Range Rover, Land Rover maybe. Land Rover SVX with the National Parks livery. And then some recent vehicles we've seen. Another one in red there. This one came out of a 2-pack. And then some of the figures you see, like the figurines, those are wolves that also came out of the 2-pack. And this trailer here is also National Parks. Then we have one spot left for the vehicle we just opened. So my National Parks box is completely full. I know I do have a few duplicates, like this one there. That's a duplicate, and I think the Baja, I forget what that's called. Baja Bandit is also a duplicate. Anyways, that's my National Park. Sorry, that took longer than I expected, but just wanted to go through these vehicles just because we haven't seen them in a while. I was trying to keep this video under 25, but I think it's going to be another 30-minute video. Anyways, let's have a look at the next two vehicles. The first is the 1970 Ford Bronco. This is the second color variant of this. It first came out in a baby blue, which we will also look at. So we're going to open this up and have a look at it. And then also look at this new casting for 2025, the 2023 Ford E-Transit Custom. This looks really, really good. Let's open these up. I'm excited to see the Ford Transit. All right, so let's have a look at these vehicles. First up is the, just want to focus in here. Okay, first up is the Bronco, which doesn't want to, okay, there we go. There's the Bronco, and this olive green, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. I love this casting. I'm so glad they added this to the lineup. It's fully detailed front and back. Some people don't like these tires, but I have to say, I think they work really well with this casting. 1970 Ford Bronco. Of course, I do have the debut version as well, which I think is phenomenal. Look at that. Both absolutely fantastic. And I noticed in the Wild Cards TV series, one of the leads actually drives this vehicle in silver. Beautiful casting. And my aunt in Japan found me a version of this vehicle where it's an error, only half the plastic is there, so it looks like the back window was rolled down. And I absolutely love that as well. What a fantastic addition to my collection. I didn't pull it out, but I do have that. This Ford Transit may be the pick of the litter for me. This is absolutely fantastic. What a beautiful casting. The exact name is the 2023 Ford E-Transit Custom. This might be one of the best vans that Matchbox has designed. Unfortunately, they didn't finish the front of it. So it's really just side livery, because you can see the front lights are missing. And the black you see there is really just part of the side livery, which is such a shame because this is a gorgeous casting. Beautiful. Left-hand drive. Look at the details on the inside. Everything's great except the front and the back are missing livery. What a shame. Especially when it's a debut casting. I can't believe that they would put this together without doing the livery for the headlights and the tail lights. Such a shame. All right, next three vehicles. We're going to look at the 1964 Lincoln Continental. We've already seen this in black from memory. I didn't pull it up because I don't know where my Lincolns are. That's really nice. Also a casting that Hot Wheels does. We'll open that and have a look at it. The 1963 Chevy Corvette. First I thought this was a new casting, but then I remembered it came in that Walmart set in grey. And apparently that was a chase version of it. So 1963 Chevy Corvette. And the 1940 Dodge V-Series truck. All right, let's open those three vehicles up and have a look at them. All right, so there are those three vehicles. Let's have a look at the Continental, the 1964 Lincoln Continental. This is the second version of this vehicle. The first version debuted in 2024 in black. And look at that, it's got side livery. It's got that symbol there and Continental at the back. Front's not detailed, but they get away with it because of the beautiful chrome plastic in the front there. I think there's trim on this vehicle. It's hard to tell. Yeah, there is. There's this gray trim. You can see over the wheel wells and then just right along this edge here. And then they cheated with the side lights, but back's not detailed unfortunately, but still absolutely beautiful casting. The windshield is blue. Actually, the windshield is clear, but the interior is, actually no, it's a white interior with a blue windshield. It's hard to tell, but that's the combo. And of course, the chrome base, and this one's absolutely gorgeous. The first one in black is also amazing. Really, really happy to see these vehicles in the lineup. All right, next up, we're going to have a look at this Corvette. I think this is the second version of this particular vehicle. Could be wrong. 1963 Chevy Corvette. I'm going to call this a yellowy gray base. Some livery on the hood. And the blacks fully detailed, including a number plate, which is nice. Black interior. Left-hand drive, and I didn't pull my open version, but I did find a version of it that I have. I think this is the debut version of this vehicle. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. And there it is. And someone told me that this is a chase version. It's a chase vehicle, but I'm not 100% sure about it. There are the other cars in that set. They seem to peg warm at the local Walmarts. It's been couple of years since they've released them. And then the final vehicle is a truck. Not a truck that I'm super familiar with. The 1940 Dodge V-Series truck. I'm not sure how many other versions of this I have in my collection. It's quite an interesting truck though. Look at that. The livery's all messed up on it. Look at that. Looks like it's got sleepy eyes. Totally off. I'm okay with that. Alright, next three vehicles we're going to look at are, start off with this 1994 Mitsubishi 3000 GT. I've seen this in 4 or 5 colors. I pulled the premium one to collect it to the collector's series in yellow. We will have a look at that once we open it. And then we've seen this before as well. It's a Porsche 911 Carrera Cabrio. We've seen a few different versions of it. I didn't pull the ones I have in my collection, but here we have it in this dark gray, almost an ash color. And then of course a new casting for 2025. I am excited about this casting. It is an Alfa Romeo Duetto. Look at that, detailed front and back. Let's open those up and have a look at them. All three absolutely fantastic castings. Let's have a closer look at these vehicles. All right, first up, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT in white. We've seen several colors of this, color variations of this. Paint is not the greatest. The paint job you can see right there at the bottom does lack a little bit of the white paint, but it is fully detailed. I love the plastic inclusion for the lights. Look at that, fully detailed back, beige interior, beautiful. This is an absolutely gorgeous vehicle. And I know this came in black and red as well, but I couldn't find them. I don't know why I keep my Mitsubishi 3000 GTs. But here is the version, the collector's version, the premium version, which a lot of people think was completely overpriced because it was just a mainline with rubber tires, and they weren't even the greatest rubber tires. So that is just for comparison's sake. $9 for that. Doesn't seem like it's worth it. Then we have the Porsche 911 Carrera Cabrio, black base, dark gray metallic paint, detailed front, detail back. Beautiful, beautiful casting. Not the most exciting color, but I have to say that does look really, really good in this color. And the 67 Alfa Romeo Duetto. Beautiful. What a fantastic addition to the lineup. Fully detailed front and back. Detailed interior, also in black. Beautiful. Beautiful castings. All right, last two vehicles from the main line before we look at the new Jurassic Park vehicles I found. I'm still missing one. I'm still missing the brown Chevy Blazer, I think it is. But anyways, let's have a look at these two vehicles. First, the Audi e-tron in this magnificent yellow color. I love this casting. I know someone who drives this vehicle. It looks really, really sharp in yellow. And then, of course, the 2023 BMW i4 Police Sedan. And I have the premium, the collector's version that I want to compare it to because the livery looks identical. So I just want to see if there's any variations between the two vehicles. So let's open these two vehicles up and have a look at them. All right. So first up, we have the Audi e-tron in yellow. Let's have a look at the base. Audi e-tron, gray base. Look at that color, so sharp. And quite often, yellow cars are not painted perfectly, but I have to say this one is, so far at least, is incredible. The paint job is phenomenal on this. Even paint. Very, very nice. Detail front and back. I think it's a yellow interior. It's It's really hard to tell. Yeah, yellow interior. This is yellow on yellow. You have to be a bold human being to drive this car. Look at that, gorgeous. And then I have a lot of the different versions of this vehicle. Let's have a quick look at them. All right, so I have 6 different versions of this vehicle. I think it's really cool. The one we just opened, we have it there in gray, in that really bold red, baby blue. The purple one's probably the hardest one. This one might be the one that a lot of you haven't seen previously. This is, and that's because this is out of the, I think it was an 8-pack. I think this particular vehicle was an 8-pack exclusive, and that particular 8-pack never came to Vancouver, but I was fortunate enough to pick this up at auction for $1. Very, very lucky because it's just so hard to find. Beautiful. And then the vehicle you see in the back, same vehicle. This one is out of a 5-pack, and it's got the policey livery. So also somewhat difficult to find unless you bought that 5-pack. I've got 3 versions of it. I collect them every time I see them because I just love this casting, and in general I like the policey livery. So next vehicle we're going to look at has also got the policey livery, so let's go ahead and do that. Right, been excited for this BMW i4. I keep wanting to say it's an M4, but it's an i4 police sedan. Let's open this up and have a look at it. Oh, and it is different because look at this. It is a new casting for 2025. I was right. I'm pretty sure the previous version was an M3, so let's have a look at this. Sorry, not M3, M5. I have to say that really is a well-designed vehicle. And it looks fantastic with this livery. Look at that. Fully detailed front. Paint job could be slightly better. No details at the back, unfortunately, but beautiful. Can't really see the interior. It's most likely a right hand. No, this is a left hand drive. I can see the steering wheel. Gorgeous. Black base. Tinted windows, so you really hard to see what color the interior is, but fantastic vehicle. And let's compare it to the previous model. All right, so that to the left is the vehicle we just looked at. What's that called? The i4 2023 BMW i4 police sedan. Fantastic. And then the older casting. This is actually the collector's vehicle with the rubber tires. This one's called the BMW M5 Police. This is one of my favorite BMW castings. It's not the same livery, but it is similar. Look at that. And then just to show you guys some of my other M5 Police vehicles, I have quite a few of them, but these are just some of them here. Look at that, M5 Police. This one is it's from the German collectors fair, forget what it's called, Hobby something Spiegel, I think. And then the different versions that they've made of it, of this particular casting. This one's really hard to find because it, once again, a 10-pack or 9-pack exclusive. Beautiful. And there's that Polizzi Audi we just looked at. Police version of the M5. Different variations of the M5, different liveries. Similar but different. All 3 of those. That one and those 2, all 3 different. And then we have it in the green Polizzi livery. And then of course, somehow they managed to get a Corvette to the German police car series. But there they are. I really hope that Matchbox doesn't retire this particular vehicle. This is the Police M5 BMW, and I just love this casting. I hope they continue to make police cars with this particular casting and model. I do like the new one as well, but just would hate to see this casting retire because I just think it's so nice and such a fantastic car to collect, and I really, really hope that they continue to make this. All right, final three vehicles we're going to look at are the three Jurassic Park vehicles from the second series of 2025. These vehicles come after the movie Jurassic World Rebirth, which I have to say was a really poor movie in terms of the storyline. Of course, the graphics and the CG is always amazing, but I have to say they could have done a much better story than they did. All right, so we have the Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. There it is. We will open that. We have this fabulous helicopter, InGen helicopter. And we have this boat, which is a new casting as far as I know. It's called a Mission Team Patrol Craft. Fairly essential vehicle in the movie. All right, so let's open these up. All right, there are the three vehicles. Let's start off by looking at this boat. Just the copyright, the name's not on there. Good detailing, decent weight. Seems to be mostly plastic. This part up here might be metal. Yeah, it looks like it's metal. Plastic base, does have wheels. Nice little casting, true to the movie. And then of course we have this helicopter, which I think is also a fantasy helicopter. But really well designed. Moving part, the propellers do rotate. And then finally, the Mercedes-Benz AMG 6x6. And this is a dirty version. You can see the paint on there. Not sure if there's a clean version of this. Detail back, detail sides, and no front livery. Beautiful. And to finish it off, let's have a look at the other 6x6s I have in my collection. I do feel like I have all the mainline versions of this vehicle. This one here is from the collector's line. I think it's 2019 or 2020, somewhere in that range. So it's got the rubber tires and it is fully detailed. The others are for the most part mainlines or from different series within the mainline. And I think there's a gold version from the 50th anniversary. I keep thinking it's that one, but maybe it's different. I know I have it. Not sure if it's that or not. And then there's those two there. So there they are, guys. The Mercedes-Benz AMG 6x6. Once again, as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit the like button on YouTube. I have lots of more vehicles that I want to unbox in the next few weeks. They've been sitting on this table here for months now. So my plan is to get to them and keep producing videos, I should say.